Yo YouTube, what is going on? Today we are going to be playing the Season 3 update of Modern Warfare 2. Based on what I've been seeing around social media, I don't exactly hold high hopes for this update. But then again, the Call of Duty community is well known for being very negative and very toxic. And of course, we already have an update requires restart. I don't understand how a game can be updating for hours and yet you still have to restart it every single time you do an update. It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. There she is. Cartel mummy. Yeah, so I don't really understand why they've taken 3 seasons to add Valeria and Alejandro into the game. They were like the 2 main characters of the campaign, so I just don't understand why they weren't in the game from the get-go. Oh, Alejandro's just so badass, man. He's just so cool. Not even because he's in the army or anything. He's just so fucking cool, bro. I actually really did enjoy the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. No, I really did. I don't want to sound too negative, but like, this is one of the things that annoys players. The first thing when you do an update, the first thing you're hit with is the battle pass right away. Like, I want to see like what's new in the game. Not like straight away in my face. Buy this battle pass for £26, please, right away. Can you just spend your money, please? So I've already got 1,200 COD points. This is one thing I do like. You usually earn enough COD points from the previous battle pass to buy the new battle pass. So I've got enough there to buy this battle pass. So we're going to confirm that purchase. I want to unlock the intervention. That's what I want. I want to be able to pick the intervention here. So in order to get the intervention, I have to complete Sector C2 and earn all the sector rewards for C4. Before I can even do the C2 objectives, I have to complete the C1. So what I was going to do today is I was going to use the intervention, level it up so I can have the one-shot sniper for Warzone. But I had to jump through like a load of different hoops just to be able to get the intervention because I refuse to spend any more money on this game. So I wanted to do this video today just to talk about the overall sort of changes that they made in the Season 3 update, the quality of life and sort of the state of the game, and also just the reaction to the update from the community overall. So before we get into the game here, as you can see, they have taken out solos once again. Even just little things like that just shows how out of touch they are with the community, because you should be able to just hop on the game, and if you've got a team of 4, you should be able to play with your 4. If you've got 3, you should be able to play with 3, 2 for 2, and you should also be able to play solos if you're solo. So I just don't understand why they keep making silly decisions like this. The community has been just asking them for a long time, can we just have every game mode we want to play and let us pick what we want to play? We've got a Shake Island solo, so I guess we'll play some of Shake Islands. But yeah, in like the week leading up to the update, there was a lot of hype going around because a lot of big Call of Duty creators such as like Joe, Woe and Repulse were brought into like these dev calls apparently, and the devs had told them like, look, we're going to make all these big changes to like movement and sort of just quality of life changes overall. So because they were told that information, of course what they done is they got excited and tweeted about it. A lot of you people may have seen Joe, for example, tweet it like, oh, Warzone is saved. Maybe that was a bit naive of him, because there has been, I don't even know where I'm landing by the way, but there has been times in the past where we've been told certain things by Call of Duty developers and they haven't followed through on it. It hasn't happened. It's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last as well, if we're being honest here, right? But yeah, maybe it was a bit naive for them to tweet out their excitement. Essentially what ended up happening was some other creators then put tweets out saying, oh, I've lost respect for this creator and that creator because they like gaslighted their communities. I feel like it's very unfair to say that these people gaslighted their communities, because they were told something by the Call of Duty developers. They got excited about it, because why wouldn't you get excited about something like that if a developer directly tells you that that change is coming? But then the changes didn't come. If anything, those creators were gaslighted by the Call of Duty developers, you know what I'm saying? But essentially it started this like war between creators, and that isn't going to solve anything, because those creators had no influence and no sort of say in what changes were made. They were just going off what they were told from the developers. Nice. If you look at the top left of the screen, by the way, there's like a bug that came out with a new update as well, where basically ping isn't accurate. So right now it's telling me that I'm on 1 millisecond latency, but I've never been on 1 millisecond latency in my life. But yeah, long story short, it ended up getting to the point where there was like random weirdos sending like the likes of Joe, Woe and Repulse death threats. If you're sending people death threats over a video game, like, you really just need to have a long, hard look at your mentality towards life. At the end of the day, it's just a video game. We're meant to play these games for fun. If you're not having fun playing a video game, then simply just don't play it. There's no need to be sending death threats to creators just because they were told something that didn't happen. I just got absolutely fried. If it isn't obvious already, I literally only play ranked play now. I don't play Warzone at all. I'm just getting absolutely fried out here. I went from playing Warzone 1 religiously, like I had nearly 1,000 wins, I think. It's like a lot of hours clocked, to not even being able to win a gunfight in Warzone 2 just because I don't play it anymore. But yeah, my point is that like creators calling out other creators on social media isn't going to solve the problems that we're having with Call of Duty right now. The only thing that's going to solve these problems is good communication between the creators and the developers. And it seemed like we were getting that when we heard about all these developer calls that were told about all these changes that were being made, and then ultimately they just didn't come. If I'm being completely honest, I've kind of lost a bit of respect for the creators who were going after other creators on social media because they were trying to take the moral high ground a little bit. Basically what they were saying was that they've lost respect for these creators who got excited about the changes they were told about. So we're saying like, I would never do that to my community. I keep it 100 on my community. As I said, it's maybe a bit naive for them to get excited on Twitter about it and put out the tweets that they did put out. But if I put myself in their position, if a developer brought me on the call and told me like, by the way, we're going to make this change and this change, like all the things you've been asking for, we're going to change them, I would be absolutely over the moon. And you know what? I probably put a tweet out as well. I'd probably put a tweet out just from the sheer excitement that I was being involved in the process of these changes being made. These creators are just like normal players. I know that for the longest time, there's been people trying to make it like casual players versus creators, but we all want the same thing at the end of the day. We want the game to be fun and we want there to be a reward for you playing and putting the time into playing the game. And I feel like a lot of people have forgot that, honestly. But I want to speak about just the changes that were actually made in general. I don't feel like there was actually any bad changes made in this update. There was no changes where I'm scratching my head looking at it. There was no changes where I'm thinking, oh, this is a step backwards. Overall, the update was a step in the right direction. So I don't think that the problem with this update was that the changes were bad or were going in the wrong direction or anything. I think the problem is that since Warzone 2 has come out, we've had a lack of direction. We've had no idea where we're going with the game, why changes are being made, and no communication whatsoever. I feel like the communication is getting a little bit better from the developers, mainly because Raven Software and Ted has taken over the reins of Warzone 2, I guess you could say. But the previous seasons we've had of like lack of changes, lack of communication, and overall just lack of direction has led to just a lot of frustration within the COD community. Because of that, they've all lashed out. They've all sort of let their emotions take over them, and they're speaking out of just emotion, pure emotion, because they want the game to be good. And it's easy to speak out of emotion when you're so passionate about a game. Like a lot of these creators have put years into this game and they've grown their communities. They're making a living out of this game, you know? So like I say, just a lack of changes, a lack of direction from previous seasons. And then obviously just the information that was going around Twitter made it seem like the changes we were going to be getting were going to be big changes. And it ended up not being the case. So these little changes, these little steps in the right direction that they made just weren't enough for a lot of people. I'm probably in that group of people as well, where I just don't think that the changes that were made were good enough changes. They're definitely changes and steps in the right direction. I feel like there could have been more that they could have done. The two biggest changes that they could have made, and to be honest, I don't think it'd be too difficult for them to make these changes. They should have added 50 health points to every character, and then they also should have smoothed out the movement a bit. Now, for example, the movement in the Modern Warfare 2 beta was like super smooth, and there was like bunny hopping and everything, and it just felt good. It felt fast. Then when the full game came out, it just felt like clunky, and it feels like you're running in mud almost most of the time. That's what it feels like to me anyway. So I feel like just even reverting the movement back to what it was in the beta and adding 50 health points would have been a massive step in the right direction for a lot of people. Then obviously you've got a platform to build off. You can go through each individual weapons, time to kill, and sort of balance it out like close range, long range, and build from there. But I feel like the two big changes that we should have seen in this update should have been an increase to base health and more fluid movement. And they did make like small changes towards the movement anyway. Like apparently they increased the slide speed, and they also apparently increased the time it takes to like get up after a dolphin dive, like ADS, and it looks a little bit quicker. It feels a little bit quicker to me right now doing this. I finally got a kill. Let's go. We're on the board. Man just hit all headshots on me. Oh, he hip fire headshot at me. No way. But yeah, as you can see, you just die so quickly in this game, and it's just so frustrating. And I feel like adding like 50 health there gives me a little bit more ability to play my life, you know? I've went back and played Warzone 1 recently, and like the TTK and the movement and stuff, it just added such a nice skill gap to the point where I can take my time in fights a little bit more. But in this game, you just can't take your time whatsoever. You're dead in like a couple of bullets, it almost feels like, even when you've got full plates. But yeah, maybe I am a little bit delusional. Maybe I'm just being super optimistic for absolutely no reason, but that's just the way I am, and the way a lot of these other creators are who were sort of getting excited on social media about this update. But I think that we are headed in the right direction. I'm not going to say that this game's going to take over Warzone 1 or be as good as Warzone 1 ever was, because I just don't think that's true, and I think it would be stupid to expect that. But what I do feel is I feel that there's now sort of a direction. I feel like this update was a step in that right direction, and we've seen this in Caldera as well. A lot of people were unhappy back in Caldera, but then Raven Software took the reins and they made small changes every single update, using community feedback, using feedback from the creators, and eventually they got the game to a place where the quality of life felt really good, the movement felt really good, the time to kill felt really good, and it was just an overall good, fun game to play. No matter what you think about the map and Caldera itself, the game was in a good place. So I'm confident that they're going to get it right, but it is going to take some time, as I understand that a lot of people have already lost patience. And if that's the case, you just simply don't have to play the game. I understand that a lot of people will continue to play the game, but just know that you don't have to. There is other games out there that you can try. And speaking of other games that you can try, I actually have got a beta code for XDefiant. XDefiant's an alternative to Call of Duty. It's like a multiplayer game, and they've been developing it for well over a year now, I believe, and they've been using feedback from pro Call of Duty players such as Aix and Zuma to sort of get it right. I've seen little clips of it here and there, so I'm going to try that out in my next video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stuff with notifications on so you don't miss that video. But yeah, overall, I just feel like we're heading in the right direction with Warzone right now. I'm not going to have big expectations or anything like that, but I can finally see a sense of direction with the changes that they're making. And it's not all doom and gloom. Please try not to lose your minds. Play a different game if you're not enjoying this game right now. And fingers crossed, with a bit of time, Raven Software can get this game back into a good and fun place.